Hey everyone, my name is Nerd Fred, and let's get into it. I was lucky enough to be part of a preview event for Warhammer 3. To set this up, we're doing a little battle in the Chaos Waste of all places. I guess increasing property values in the cities have now driven us to quite the war commutes. In today's impoverished confrontation of military might, we are playing as the all-astounding Serena, the Ice Queen of Kislev. There wasn't really an explanation how it got here, but for intents and purposes, my headcanon lore, until retconned, that is that her smaller cousin had now grown to hate their parents, and in the inevitable fallout of a family confrontation, they're now looking for a new place to live. Mighty old cousin Serena, the Ice Queen of Kislev, has decided to help them look for a place more affordable, as everything in the city has become too expensive. So instead of trying to get her young cousin a good deal, they, like other Zoomers, will realize that a longer commute from literal hell might be a better option than trying to increase someone else's property value by paying too much rent there. Anyway, in this new game mode we try to oust the force of chaos from their homes. Or what I assume is their homes. I don't know, Chaos Waste is the writer's version of just adding quantum to every word. It's everything, nothing, and beasts. You might have seen some leaks, but basically, this is how it works. You get to one place, like a capture point in a city, and you try to keep it while a strangely organized horde of chaos tries to grab it back in waves. As this was a preview press build, it's usually built so that anyone trying it should be able to manage it. I'm proud to announce that my build was the most unstable of them all, apparently having worse luck with stability than anyone else from what I heard. So that will forever be my bragging rights. Yeah, so, to connect back to the game mode, you can build 3 different types of ramparts, 3 different types of towers, and 3 different types of traps, or hallways, or whatever you want to call them. I can see people using just about all these for myriad reasons. Probably no good reasons, but you know, whatever. The ramparts that we had made only the first rank of the unit's fire, for example, making it not super good, but it did have really good coolness to useless factor. You might want to call the something else. I can't actually remember now while I'm writing the script what it was called, but there was also this wall that made them go like bull seeing red and hammer that shit down because there would be no new modifications to gentrify this absurd hellscape, or so help them all corn. There was also other stuff like traps that made them go slower, or lose some defense against buffing stations as well for your own units. The towers were basically divided into normal towers, armor-piercing towers, and magic. Oh my god, what is that towers that shoots magic missiles that I can only assume is repurposed tier 5 high elf shots. Now, as you kill stuff, you get currency. You can use that currency in either getting more ramps, traps, towers, replenishing ammo for units, heal them, or give them upgrades stats, or even get more units. Though there is a unit cap for everything. Now, when you heal them, by the way, they do not regain models. You can send them to the Shadow Realm or home, or I don't know actually where they go, but they will regain models if they just go and take a little rest. So, at your service, and your great centerpiece of the army is obviously the Serena. Her ice magic and ice skating is powerful. And according to the devs, it's supposed to be the anvil magic, the hammer of summer magic that Kislev is also going to have. Like, I don't know about this, because even though it had some buffing spells that obviously made frontline stronger, they also had some of the strongest damage spells I've ever seen in my life. And I watched Fantasia as a kid, man. I should say the balance of the battle is wonky. Press builds are usually made so that most press people can get through them and feel cool. Great pun. The demons was supposed to be a bit weaker because of story or mission, something like that. If it was important, I probably would have remembered this. But that's basically it. I'll just comment on what's happening in the battle from now on because I ran out of scripts. And I will share some information that we got during the interview with the developers as well, every once in a while. Now let's get into it and check out what we're doing.
But at last we have arrived in Khorne's bloody realm. Before us stands the brass citadel, where the blood god's gatekeeper stands guard. We must call out the fiend and slay him. He rallies his demons for a last desperate defense. Vanquish vanquish them with ice and steel! This is the ruined fort, defended by Khorne's lesser thralls. Wipe them out and capture the icon of ruin! This will give me a foothold and grant us supplies to reinforce for the struggle ahead!
Think Lancers! Fine strut! For the throne! March with pride! March with pride!
Serena Catherine!
Alright, so a couple of things that we're gonna guess straight off the bat. Now, there are some balance changes for battles, which are pretty cool. Number one is that there's a wounded trait now for large single entities. Now, that basically means that the more health it loses, the more battle prowess or like battle effectiveness it'll lose. It'll lose stats basically as battle goes on and the more it gets hurt. So that doom stacks might be a little bit more nerfed. Now, maybe you're thinking, boss, there's been a range meta for so long, mainly because of on legendary difficulty. The AI will have certain melee boosts, which means that every single one of your own melee units won't perform as well, so you just get kind of like, you know, leaning into the ranged units more and more. Now, Samurai Warrior on Clan Legiuit Talika told me that in his interview, they said that they've changed those difficulty modifiers for legendary, or, well, the battle difficulty. And I don't know about you guys, but that is basically the best news I have heard about this game.
Khorne's demons attack! Hold fast, warriors!
Defenders of Kislev! Sons of Kislev! Sargon! Kossars! Voltap Kislovites! Follow the bear!
So, we continue the defense against the force of chaos as they descend upon us. As you can see here on the barricade, mainly the first row here is just firing. There's no one else that's actually firing. But here I'm trying to use the Heart of Winter spell, the super death spell that I was talking about earlier. It just did so much damage, man. I don't think I've seen actually anything else that ever do that much damage. And we're hovering over some other spells here, like Crystal Sanctuary, giving 66% ward save, but whoever is targeted cannot move. Frostblades, which increase weapon-based damage, armor piercing damage, and gives a nice 24 melee attack boost. And Ice Maiden's Kiss, which is a breath spell. We'll be using that one later on. Personally, I didn't feel like it did a ton during this battle, but it could just be the lack of armor piercing. But here you go. Look at that. There is dying to that Ice Maiden's Kiss. It's so good. Getting our Cossars out of there. As you can see, we got a couple of new fancy bowmen with spears as well. Basically Lothar Seaguard, but you know, angry and fake Russian, I guess. They don't move that fast, so I guess they're not rushing around too much. Here we go. The Chaos Dogs is coming in as well. It's basically just reskinned normal dog units.
The people's ruler.
And here we have some of the cool Bloodletters of Khorne. Look pretty cool, actually. They were really weak, though. They got hurt really fast. But once again, that's probably just because the Chaos force that we were fighting in this particular survival battle, or Battle of the Brass Citadel, where you're supposed to be a little bit weaker. Here we go. They're breaking. As you might have noticed, the Demons of Chaos kind of gets that unbinding thing. Kind of like the undead, I guess, where they just disintegrate. But the Warriors of Khorne will just run away because they're still people. Well, I mean, you shouldn't really call them people, but they're kind of people.
Excellent. Sons of Kislev!
As you can see here as well, the magic towers that I got, they're so good. I mean, like, they just mulch through these dudes. I did try normal towers, and I did try armor piercing ones, but honestly, it just wasn't that much of a price difference to not get the magic towers. I'm sure the armor piercing ones are really good versus single target units, like the really large Bloodthirsters and stuff, but I mean, I don't think anything will really kill off those things really easily. And here we got also some reinforcements. Now these dudes I really liked, the dudes with the guns. They were pretty fantastic. They were basically iron breakers with, well, not iron breakers, thunderers with great weapons is basically what they are. As you can see here, Kislev has a lot of like sturdy dudes, and I always said that I was going to play Cathay first when Warhammer 3 hits, but man, I like the sturdy factions. I really, really do. I like the dwarves. I like the high elves, lizard men, warriors of chaos. Well, I play those with mostly as foe, the warriors of chaos. But you get me. Honestly, I've always said that I was going to do Cathay, but this one definitely made me change my mind a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Cathay won't be like a glass cannon faction. Which doesn't make sense, but, you know, you never know. Here we're using Heart of Winter again. Just for them ridiculous kill numbers. Man, I really need to do something about the ramparts though. Since the first one is all... first rank is the only one that's firing. Here the rampart broke. Too bad. I'll say this. The magic towers do a lot of friendly fire. Like, I had a lot of friendly fire with this. You see here, it's just basically targeting us. I had no idea what was happening there. I was just going with this. A lot of firing animations. Anything gunpowder in this game just has the coolest animations, I think. Jesus Christ, that friendly fire.
Land is power! Comrades of the bear! Kislev sends us forth!
pits and seize the icon of blood!
Well, we unlocked the new part of it, the second part out of 3. The top icons actually indicates what kind of bonuses you get. You do get bonuses if you own the next parts, and you do get maluses if you don't. So it is in your best interest, essentially, to own them all and to try to keep them even after you moved on, because the Force of Chaos will come from the back still, they really will. I haven't been using the Wing Guard that much, but I did feel that Cavalry did more than it would usually do. Now this could be because I've been playing for too long on Legendary difficulty in Warhammer 2, so the AI always has their fancy AI bonuses. Could also be that the AI in this one is supposed to be a little bit weaker thanks to story reasons, but I did really like using them. I just aren't doing that much this time around, because I was doing it in the battle before, but I had a pretty unstable build, so I actually got to the last parts like twice, and it also crashed right here as well one time. But that's how it is with these press builds. So we're trying to get small openings up in the infantry lines, so we can actually fire at them a little bit easier. Line of sight is still something that the gunmen do need, even though it is heaps better than it was at the start. 1, 2. As you can see here, Serena has an amazing model. Fantastic. Look at that fur trimming. Fantastic. Doing their Mortal Kombat moves as well. Gorgeous models, all of them. Nah, CA has really outdone themselves with models this time around. No complaint about the Warriors of Chaos and, well, Khorne being basically just reskinned Warriors of Chaos, but I mean, they do look pretty dope, so who the hell cares, really? I mean, they were gonna be in the game anyway, no matter what we did, or no matter what happened, so let's be happy that they look pretty cool, right? I haven't been using the Pony Riders that much, or the ranged cavalry, but they will be of some use. As I said, I knew that they were gonna come in from the back anyway to try to grab the checkpoint back, so they'll basically be guarding there anyway. Here we can see you can upgrade either armor, damage, well, range damage or melee damage. You can refill their ammo, heal them up. Or we can just ignore all that. Watch as the armies march. Try to get to the next place. One of the big things actually from Warhammer, well, to Warhammer from the historical Total War games was actually that fatigue didn't matter too much. You can actually run everywhere now. If you're new to the, well, you haven't touched the series in a bit, you don't have to walk everywhere to conserve. They can basically run indefinitely almost. Well, obviously not indefinitely, but compared to the old ones, then yeah. As we see here, Doggos coming in, getting shot at. Now restock that ammunition. Here I think I'm like Man, I think I'm doing something wrong here because everybody else isn't there, and we're going to be invaded as soon as I capture this checkpoint. So I'm just moving these dudes away. Taking a little bit fast forward as well because there's not a lot of stuff to do otherwise.
The icon of blood is ours. Beyond the
And now we'll just build up some armor piercing tower, it seems. Some magic tower. And a fancy magic tower. And another armor piercing tower. And another piercing tower. Nice. I guess I'm scared of more large units or something coming in here. Or maybe I just wanted to try the map because I was like, well, I am recording this, maybe I shouldn't just do magic towers.
Serena,
Sounds about me.
March with pride.
We're moving in because, as we can see, they are coming in from all sides here. As you can see in the minimap.
March for Kislev. Kislev sends us forth.
Hand is power!
Streltsy,
Hussars!
taking position.
Sons of Kislev! March with pride!
Serena Catherine!
And here we built a trap. As you can see, it gives them less speed and less melee attack. Basically the melee attack doesn't really do anything because it's so far away, but the speed will make our tower shoot even more. And here we have some new cool Chaos Mauls as well. A little bit heavier cavalry. Bloodletters of Khorne coming in here as well.
Serena Catherine!
As I was talking about earlier, the barricades, like, they won't run around them. They didn't, at least. They just ran straight for them, like a bull seeing red or something. Or a red bull seeing barricade, I guess. Here we got some new dudes as well that we can summon, but I'm not. There's a melee warrior priest on a bear that I could guess. I really liked him actually. That was pretty cool. And now we brought our fancy cav archers as well. And we also had one type of artillery units, which is basically just a little bit better version of mortar, but it was only a single unit one. Now that they've been hammered a little bit by the tower, they've been hammering on the barricade. I'm taking my wing riders. And we're using this part of winter. Swell somewhere here maybe. Or not. By the way, your units will pass through all these things. They will just walk through the barricade or the wall or whatever. It does look wonky, but they do. Basically, just teleport from one side to the other. But right now, when they teleport, it basically just makes the mount take like an extra second to teleport with them. So the rider's just flying through the air for like a second. Which is pretty funny, to be fair. I don't know if the survival aspect gets enhanced by it though.
One final push to the boiling moat.
Alright, so next stage unlocked. We also got Warrior Priest together with riding on a bear. I really liked him, he was pretty cool. He was just a souped up Warrior Priest basically. Here the first Bloodthirster comes in. And I very prudently just focus fire him with everything I have essentially. Because, you know, it's still Warhammer. The larger something is, the more of a target it is. I'm bored. Maybe you shouldn't have taken your archers in here. Doesn't matter, they're Kislevites. Just because they shoot doesn't mean they don't know how to melee kerfuffle. We also have the Little Grom artillery unit here and the Ice Palace guards. Little Grom artillery unit was pretty cool. It is very slow, and as I said, it's basically a mortar unit. It's like a miniature Little Bess, I guess. Or Queen Bess, not Little Bess. A miniature Queen Bess. Little Bess. Yeah, that makes sense. Another one of those. And then the Griffin Legion was really cool. They're probably going to be a tier 4, tier 5 cavalry units. They smashed stuff. I really like them. Honestly, I like most of these things. It could also be because, you know, we haven't had new content for a bit here with Warhammer. It's just nice playing with other stuff. The environments, though, are gorgeous. And I really hope that we'll see more sieges like this. But the developers did tell me when I asked that this kind of battle will not be around for everybody. It'll basically be in the campaign for Kislev, and what can I only assume will be Cathay as well. And otherwise, it'll be custom battles where you can have, well, whatever faction you want basically to do this with. But it won't be a regular thing in the campaign, but only for custom battles. I also did the super naive question of, have you guys worked on the engine? And they said, yeah, we continuously work on it, as they always do. It's a pretty cookie cutter response, but I should have probably done more follow-up questions. But honestly, I don't do a lot of press events. I got nervous, man. There's a lot of questions in hindsight that I wanted to ask them. A big thing here also that you might have noticed is that the Winds of Magic, like I have 91 to use right now, instead of 30 as is in the campaign. And I asked them about that. Is it only for this battle? Or is it for everything? And they said for everything. They have literally just made it so that you have a higher pool of magic for everything now. Because 30 was apparently a little bit confusing for people, like how that works. Which is understandable. It took me a lot of hours as well to actually understand that you had like a reserve and how to actually manipulate that and stuff. But in these kinds of battles you do have an infinite amount of reserve though. So you'll never run out of magic in this type of battle. But what you have ready for all battles will be much heftier amounts. Ah, look at that model, that's so cool. Oh, these bears are good boys. Or girls. They're very good bears.
The people's ruler!
Serve without question! Little Grom!
So here we're just trying to put the little Groms to each side here, because obviously they're going to come from both sides. As you can see now, in the back there, lots of red dots coming in from the stars. Lots of them.
I claim the icon of torment.
The new units unlocked. Will I press that button? Find out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I'm just kidding. Actually, we'll probably see that soon. Here's a spoiler though, probably not. But we will see them before this video has ended. That I guarantee you. So, the demonic wave starts. I don't think I'm super ready for this one also. Which is fine. I still think we're doing okie dokie though. So much currency here, so much. Alright, not anymore though. Oh.
Griffin Legion!
Now the Griffin Legions were pretty cool. Let's go in here and get all these. So we're fine, as you can see here, they smash them up pretty good. Here we go. One very cool Bloodthirster, and here also a skull cannon. Which looks pretty dope. I should have zoomed in on it for longer.
Comrades of the bear!
Comrades of the bear!
So the Bloodthirster actually has a really cool little thing there, where it is a flying symbol. Little wings there, as you can see. Right, walkily landing there. Now, I asked the developers, hey, will flying be a toggle? Because I thought that would be so goddamn cool. Imagine like having a dragon as well with flying toggle. You could just land it, you use the breath attack in better ways than just from straight up. You know what they told me? They said no. No, they just want to like show that this thing can fly in an easier way. Was I sad? Yeah. I literally sat there like in the interview, it's like, oh, that's pretty disappointing, I think I said. I'm sure somebody will have like my response in their video. Or I'll add it into another one. Alright, so we did guess one Bloodthirster down. There's a lot of them here. It's fine. At least we have all the buffs from actually owning all the checkpoints. The elemental bear, god, I want that one. And war bear riders. They were so good. You've probably seen it though in the trailer. So we'd see earlier the elemental bear. Move these dudes up. Now these dudes are a little bit wonkily done after killing off the Bloodthirster, so we're just moving them around a little bit. Gromnos getting a lot of kills here. They did get beaten up by a lot of other things, but here we go. Look at how cool those elemental bears are. Friendly firing my own dudes a little bit. I think this is why I started using the armor piercing towers in the last one, because I just felt like, man, the friendly fire sucks. Hopefully that might be fixed later on. But you know, probably not. It's not like you can't compensate for that, or that ruins everything, you know. You can actually see the shot there from the little Grom going by. Flaming projectile. Skull cannon doesn't have any ammo left. Because I just lets it shoot everything. It does have the ice roar there as well, which is pretty cool. The Ice Bear Roar is a hefty AoE though that reduces all missile damage, so hopefully the Elemental Bear won't go the same route as the Dread Saurian, which just dies to range damage within seconds. Warbear Riders, 80 armor, 32 melee defense, and anti-large. I usually just care about defensive stats, personally. I don't Like, things will kill the other thing eventually. Anyway, like, as long as it survives. You know, whatever survives in the end is the thing that won, right?
Griffin Legion!
Karn's gatekeeper shows himself at last! Warriors of Kislev, prepare for the fight of your lives! Kislev's enemies muster another assault!
And here we go. The last abyss of everything. Fancy Bloodthirster coming in here. And we just need to defeat Khorne's champion. More artillery from the sides. Using fancy breath attack. Doesn't actually kill that many. Skarrog, Flesh Maul. I tried to Google him. It's not named one, it seems. Well, I mean, like, you know. Since demonic, it's gonna crumble. It's got that hex around it. Charge bonus for augmentation for everything around it. Well, on cooldown. Same with base weapon damage. And can target enemies to give them less range damage. He looks pretty goddamn cool though. The model, I mean, they nailed the model stuff for Khorne so goddamn much. This one is so cool. I think I'm trying to target a lot of stuff on him here. I actually like this. As he lands in the Serena, she's been doing pretty well so far, but she's getting like absolutely hammered. She wasn't exactly full health at the get-go, but like that was just a couple of seconds though. That she survived. So she'll run away into the ether or wherever they go. The elemental bears will take care of them. Lore-wise, these kinds of things are usually akin to greater demons anyway. I guess the Serena gets all of her powers from the land itself, so kind of like the Dryads or whatever, or like the things from Athel Loren, which are basically just nature demons anyway. As we see here now, also our reinforcements are being spawned in the last stage here. Well, at the last checkpoint, so we get easy peasy reinforcements. Most of our cavalry is running away. Not the bear cavalry though. The bear cavalry is still holding on strong. Our lines are breaking though. I'm not gonna say it's looking good or anything like that. It's not. Serena is now gone. She has left the building. So he's trying to guess as many things here as possible. Khorne artillery still shooting at us. But the bears don't really, like, they don't care about this. Like, nothing really large in Warhammer. Total War actually cares about artillery or AoE damage. Like, single target units don't really do that. So that's kind of to be expected that the elemental bears wouldn't hardly even flinch at any artillery. If you don't know what I'm talking about with them not taking that much AoE damage, I mean, just take like Karl Franz or something and just put him into a big blob of units and just use Pit of Shades on him. You'll see everything else dies, but he'll hardly even be hurt.
Retreat!
maybe not the coolest dueling animation out there. I mean, the ones in Warhammer 2 were basically just what some of the animators did in their free time because they felt like that was supposed to be a thing. Or maybe we just missed this. Cavalry go in here. The friendly fire is wrecking us though, I'm not gonna lie, like that's probably been like 20% of our casualties. Alright, the champion ain't long for this world. It's frostbited and armor sundered as well now. Like I said, the bear cavalry is anti-large, so they should be able to take, like, help the elemental bear quite a bit. Death animation is pretty cool, except for the, you know, last couple of centimeters of sinking into the floor.
My brave Kislevites, we stand triumphant. But Khorne is not the only dark god with a realm in this accursed place. The battle is won, but the war goes on. Come. We must continue our search for what is lost.
Now, I didn't go into the unit stats too much because very likely they're going to change. This is such an early build that balance is completely out of the window and will probably be rectified later. We have roughly one more hour of footage from this, so we might make another video as we're allowed to make an entire 90 minutes of gameplay here. Well, show 90 minutes of gameplay. Now, if you're thinking of getting Warhammer 3 or any games in general, you're more than welcome to use any of my links in the description. From 2Game, Nexus, any of them. It does help the channel. As I usually just stream, I realize this is the most well-made video, but if you like the content, you can check me out at twitch.tv/nerdragefred, link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching everybody, hope you enjoyed the video on this, and thank you Creative Assembly for having me. And as always, if you liked the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, you can like the video, leave a nice comment, and subscribe. Maybe this is a change you need in your life. You don't know until you try, do you? You don't know. I'm Nerdragefred, and I'll see you next time.